and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sherry Ann.
So today we're going to be talking about gifting yourself joy and how joy is still completely possible even when cancer is in the mix. But before we do that, we're going to get grounded with our PESH check-in. So Sherry Ann, will you go first today?
Okay, so physically I'm a 4, emotionally 4.3, spirit 4.7, hope 4.4, and my word is rest.
Okay, my turn. Physically, I am a 4.25. Emotionally, I am a 4.4. Spirit is a 4.25, and hope is a 4.4. And my word is, the word resounding comes to mind. I don't have anything beside it but that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, gifting joy. What does that mean to you when you hear that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to frame this in specifically giving yourself joy instead of trying to gift joy to someone else. Gifting joy to myself means your favorite word, permission. It means giving yourself permission to, first of all, experience joy and tap into what you want that would give you joy. Gifting myself joy means this acceptance that it is not selfishness, it is just putting yourself first, and also the acknowledgement that you're allowed to feel joy. And no matter how hard the journey you're currently on, even when things feel difficult, especially when they feel primarily difficult, it's actually more important to find your pockets of joy in the moments that bring you that, but also to acknowledge when those come up and not take them for granted or feel as though you don't deserve them.
I really love your come from, especially framing it with me giving myself joy, because it all starts here, right? Before we can actually give anybody else joy, we have to give it to ourselves. And there's such a correlation for me of joy and love. It's like, if I love myself, then permission comes. And then so that joy is this exuberant, it's just this smile on my face. It feels like really heart enwrapping, if that's even a word I'm making.
Okay, fierce love.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I agree that to give yourself joy is to show yourself love. I completely agree with that. And to give yourself grace and understanding. And it's not easy to give yourself that, right? It's very easy to say too. And it's going to look different for everyone. The best thing about giving yourself joy is that only you really know what you want and what will give you that joy that you're looking for in the way that you're looking for it, right? It's not going to be just because we have this word called joy doesn't mean it's it has to be a small gift that you wrap up to yourself. It's not like that's just joy. There's so many different ways of experiencing joy. It can be like a physical gift. There's nothing wrong with that. It can totally be that. Maybe like a nice little piece of jewelry for you that is a reminder of something. You put an intention on it, and so it feels that way when you're wearing it. Or it can be a full experience. I want to go somewhere and I want to see something and be immersed in this different environment. And it can even be, you know what, the joy that I'm giving myself today is actually, I'm just going to tell everyone I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing. I'm just giving it to me. I'm, taking off of work that day, and I'm just going to do whatever comes naturally. And that's going to be my gift of joy today.
Yes. And so I'm just kind of bringing it to Cancer Journey, and right now Christmas is upon us. So it's like, how do we almost like marry the two? And it comes back to, it's like, what what am I wanting for myself? And what do I want to give out? And I like the idea of having joy being the goal and the undercurrent, but often I'm reminded that, oh no, when we're on a cancer journey, and I'm talking about the patients, the survivors, and the caregivers, and the thrivers, is that we don't have the energy. We're fatigued. We're all tired. Everybody's tired, and then it's this have to, right? It's like it's Christmas. We have to celebrate. We have to be joyous. I mean, there's so many songs like "Joy to the World," and I want to bring it back to like simple and easy, and really getting in touch with ourselves of what does joy feel like, and how do I experience that without the grandiose celebrations or anything like that, so I don't have to be responsible for expending extra energy. It's more like, how do I get to have this and just be where I am and who I am?
Yeah.
So what comes up for me is, first, getting in touch with yourself, but what is the experience that I want to have? Joy is such a big, kind of, not amorphous, but big word. Maybe it starts with the little things, like the forms that I want, that will give me that feeling of joy. And for some, it could be, oh, I love all of us sitting around and like singing Christmas carols. It's not that efforting. People can be up, there's no judgment, no have tos. And yet it kind of sparks like fun and that slight effervescence. It could actually give us energy.
Yeah. So I just want to touch on, we have this concept called form versus function, which are very colloquial words, obviously, but if you've been through our training, you really understand like the difference between form and function and what it provides us. And so what I'm also hearing you say is like the grandiose dreams that maybe we've or experiences we've had in the past and the other things that have filled us with joy during a cancer journey, practically sometimes they're just not quite possible in that way. So by going back to, what does that experience give you? What does that thing that has brought you joy in the past give you now? And how can you still have that same or a similar experience of it now? And so when we're talking about holiday, I often think of big holiday parties, connection with family. There's like the gift exchange and like just the joy of watching someone open a gift that you've given them, kind of thing too. And every bit of that is going to be different for different people. Um, Sometimes for some, it's just being alone actually feels really good, and having time to be with themselves and not have to, often we have this big break from work or from responsibilities, and that's what feels good. But when you're on a cancer journey and some of those things feel out of range for you, how can you still maintain that feeling with something that does feel like you can do it and that feels practical for you in this moment? And that can vary person to person. And I will also completely recognize that there's this bit of mourning, this like grieving that comes with it as you're kind of acknowledging these things that you're you're not ready to do. You don't have the energy to do them. And so sometimes it can feel like that loss. And it's absolutely valid to have some time to be like, wow, I'm kind of sad that that can't happen in that specific way anymore, that form. But let's now open this perspective of like, what can I do? What is possible now? And what does give me that same fulfilling feeling of being surrounded and chatting with my family? And how can I make that real now in this space that I'm in? What can I ask for?
Mhm. When you said that, I went to, I don't have a lot of energy, and I don't want to effort. So what is something that I can do that brings me joy? And also it would be, when you said watching someone, or the anticipation of watching someone open the present that you just gave them, because you gave from the heart, and it's so exciting for you to have them open it and watch their reaction. Things like, and now I know I'm going to form, and I'm not trying to solve it, but just to spark some thoughts in our head of like, so how do I do this? And not that how is so important as the what, but it's what popped up as you were talking. And it's like, how do we give joy? How do we give love without spending a ton of money, going out and efforting either going to a store or going online and trying to find the perfect gift? It's more like, how do we give from the heart? And so what popped up for me was like, oh, I could draw a picture or write a special memory, like remember when, or like a little personal touchstone for each person. One Christmas, I made pillows, and I brought in my dad, who does beautiful Chinese calligraphy, and we had different characters on the pillows, and then I laid the pillows out and said, everyone go pick yours. And it was so much fun. And they got this piece that wasn't just from me, but was from my dad too. And it was just kind of a representation of love. We obviously just could have done love straight across, but it felt nice that everyone got to have something that was unique and different that they chose. I don't know. That just, it makes me happy. And that's that joy.
Yeah. And specifically with this gift too, like you're really thinking about your connection to these people, your family, and what they give you and how you can kind of collaborate in this also, and make it a memory and make it feel valuable for you as well. Not in a tangible way necessarily, but in this like overwhelming feeling of joy to be able to share this and be like, I made this especially for you. And that's not to say that like buying something for someone can't be as meaningful, but it's also like the thought that came behind it, the resourcefulness of yourself, the creativity can be really exciting. And it can be something that you get to explore within yourself to really understand. So there is so much depth to that too. And I mean, right now in this economy, that's not the most friendly. That could be a really great way to go about it when we step back and we think about, okay, I want to show these relationships that I have that they matter to me. Let me think about what comes up for me with that and what I can create or what I can um, put together that still feeds that.
Something else just came up while you said that. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's the memory. It was a party that I was invited to, and everyone was asked to bring something of theirs that they wanted to gift to the hostess. And that reminds me of, let me give you a treasured possession that I have. It's not the most treasured possession because I want to keep that for me, but a treasured possession or something that reminded me of that person that I own, that I want to gift. And it's like, that almost has more meaning and more impact, I think, than buying, a bathrobe for somebody. It just, I love this idea of joy and love because there's delight in the exchange, and it becomes more of a memory or even a keepsake. And it doesn't have to be big. I mean, a little a locket or a piece of jewelry or a scarf. I just remember this woman, she had this huge scarf collection. She said, at the end of all of this, I just want to gift everybody one of the scarves. And then again, they're thinking about the person as they're picking that one for that person. So yeah, there's lots of meaning that we can do in this time and this economy, which again, I'm still doing the forms, but it's the message behind it that I'm really leaning into.
Yeah. And it's a specific function that you're holding that lends itself to these different forms. And that function of this would be um, like honoring your connections and bringing yourself to this gift. Not that it has to be like a piece of your soul always, but different ways of just honoring the connection that you have with those individuals, that group of people. Um, yeah, that's like a great example too of just like how different forms can fit this function. I what also sparked me with memories too is that the memories that we want to make are ones of joy, and that can be a function all on its own. Like, I just want to formulate more joyful memories. It doesn't even have to
Mhm.
necessarily be with other people. It can just be for yourself. Like, say, for maybe like years and years and years, someone has this dream or desire to like go to Egypt and see the pyramids in person, right? And what that would give them would be this like sense of adventure, this seeing something new. Um, and that's still achievable, that function, in different ways. I mean, it's not always being directly there. I actually hear that sometimes when you're for this specific example, that like you can't even get that close to the pyramids, so you're not really experiencing this whole different cultural thing. But and to have that dream means that you haven't had that experience, so you're kind of projecting this expectation on what that's going to be like. um but the function still of this dream is to have adventure and to experience something new, right? There are so many different ways to do that. It doesn't have to be going to Egypt and seeing the pyramids, no matter how close or whatever you get. There are things that you can do in your local space. I'm certain there are places you have never been that are just a drive away or maybe even a walk away. And to delve into your own curiosity and your own creativity, um, only allows you to better hone yourself and get to know yourself better. And so, what I'm now realizing as I'm speaking is that this exploration is a deeper dive into who you are and what you really want to experience, what you want your life to be, and an exploration of like what lights you up. Because you might, go somewhere new down the street and think that this is going to be a big adventure that gives you something new and you end up not liking it. And that's so fair. You get clearer and clearer on what exactly that thing is that will bring you that joy, what exactly you're looking for. And it's not a failure that that thing that you explored and you didn't really like it. It just means it wasn't what you were looking for in terms of the adventure and the newness. So we try something else. And you can continue to try things that provide you with those two experiences until you find one that really clicks with you. Because sometimes it might be something as simple as like creating something that can feel like an adventure for you to learn something new and to just have it be new to you and be some sort of like exploration. Maybe it's some sort of puzzle to it that you have to figure out, and that feels like adventure to you.
Uh, So many things are sparking in my mind. It's like, oh my goodness, especially for this holiday, it's like, I don't know. I'm always um stymied by what to get for this person or that person. And if I knew what their values were, for instance, that's what you sparked. It's like they love adventure. So, and this person may not be, near me. We may be miles away. We may be in different states, but I want to share this because I got so excited about it. It's like, what if we had an adventure together where we kind of did um, a photo safari? I don't know if you know what that is, but everybody has some kind of smartphone these days, almost everybody. And so if you went on one at the same time that I went on one, and then we started sending each other the pictures of what we're discovering, first off, me and you would both be looking through new eyes. It's like, ooh, what's here that's like interesting or cool and that I want to share? But we're also doing it together.
Yeah.
And then I'm
Oh,
like, I really like that idea.
and you know what? We can get into form. Just because this is our podcast doesn't mean we have to stay so conceptual. I mean, I like having the form, and the form feels really good. Just to tumble off that, it's like, what if we did a photo scavenger hunt where we have like a list of all these like general things, like a a cool building or like street art or something like that, and we got to share those things. So we like, it's not like you have to come up with something and you just explore a new neighborhood or like a new restaurant you've never been to or something. Like, there's just the we love a good like, let's explore, what's the creativity, where's the curiosity. And so, if you have questions about what that form is, like, we're happy to play with it with you. And all of our coaches are also trained to know the difference between form and function and help you play with that as well. Our coaches do not give answers. They do not give advice. They don't tell you what to do with your life. They listen to what you're saying and then they reflect back the things that you're saying you want and love and are excited about. And then you get to kind of really hear it, because sometimes when we're in it, we're too deep in it. We can't even see what we truly deeply want. We can't see what we're expressing loudly that other people, especially a coach who is trained to like witness and ask questions to make sure they get it right, because they want to get you. Absolutely. They don't want to, there are no assumptions. They're going to ask you exactly for clarity, and you can absolutely say no at any time if they're incorrect about that. But they're there to walk hand in hand with you based on exactly what you want. So they're there to come up with forms with you.
Right. And we oftentimes don't know what we want. I mean, while that is a very powerful question, it's like, what do you want, Sherry Ann? And it's like, oh, I will always have to pause because it's not right there in the forefront of my mind. It's probably like recessed behind all of the things that I have to do and get done and what's got my immediate attention. I love that. We've kind of it offered up some options, but also some support to do this. And I'm actually very excited now about possibilities for holiday shopping where I don't really have to shop. I get to rely on my own resources to find something that gets me excited and is a true gift, a
Yes.
heart gift.
So what that just like literally clicked for me is that so often, and maybe because we're, in a capitalist world right now, or society, whatever, but what really clicked is that so often gifting is thought to be financial, right? Like if I hear gifting, especially for the whole family, like I'm thinking about everyone's name on a list, walking around the mall, trying to see what they could possibly want that I'll walk by. But truly, deeply, gifting is so personal. And it's about this connection and what we know about the other person, and giving them not only what we think they would like, but we're giving it to them something, we're gifting something to someone because we have a relationship with them. So, what is that relationship? And what do I also love to do, right? Like, we're not saying go like make them a mug from scratch because you think they love to drink coffee, but you hate making that. Like, don't do things that you don't like. But there's this congruency. Congruency? There's this meeting someone
Making up
where
all kinds of words today.
there's this place where you guys meet in your relationship where there's something you understand about each other. And whatever that is, you get to then create this thing especially for this person that you have a relationship with.
Yep. And when I'm so this is my takeaway. I'm noticing that our energy has definitely gone up because we have creativity in our values. So really understanding ourselves and living in our values brings up this energy, and then also knowing what's important to somebody that I want to give something to, whether it's matching mine or in alignment with mine. It's like, okay, it's easy for you and I because we both love, but we both value creativity and adventure. So that so many possibilities. But even somebody like a neighbor, and you know a little bit about them, but you also have an inkling, and it's like, oh, you've been a really great neighbor. I just kind of want to give something to you. It can always be, the regular cookies or something, but it also could be I made you something, or I thought of you because this is what I see you doing, and or just a gift of this is how much you mean to me because you're such a great neighbor, and thank you. That goes so much further than the actual present, right? It's like seeing them and acknowledging them. I mean, that is the gift of joy. It's like gifting joy is like giving a piece of us to them. And that's my takeaway. My pesh is physically going down a little bit, 3.8. Emotionally 4.45 though. Spirit, 4.65. Hope, 4.55. And my word is energized.
Okay, my takeaway. Well, first, I do also want to say that while the majority of things that you just said were like in a physical form, it also creates space for this. Like, if you want to give, if you want to gift someone whatever it is, but you don't know them that well, a gift could just be, "Hey, I don't know you that deeply, but I want to gift you something. I want to do something in tandem with you. So let's like my gift is spending time together and getting to know each other better and deepening this relationship by even just like let's buy some coffee and like sit for an hour in a coffee shop and just chat, or like let's go see a concert. There's like so much you can do there too. That's what came to mind. I guess I'm a form person too right now, especially if you give me a good function. um my takeaway is gifting joy memories comes up a lot, and actively creating them. There's such this like active force that comes with choosing joy, um because when we're passively gifting, there's less connection there. And I think we've all experienced opening a gift from someone we thought kind of got us, and we're like, oh, I don't know if you get me, because thank you for the gift, I appreciate the intent, but what you received didn't really resonate with anything that you felt was in that connection. um Not necessarily a bad thing, but when we deliver some other sort of gift that helps us enrich our relationships, including the one with ourselves, um the connection becomes tighter, it becomes more real, more authentic. um and especially if you can communicate, like, this is what I have the energy for. If you're on a cancer journey, you're like, this is what I can do and what I'm going to do now to fulfill that function of gifting joy to myself and others. I don't know if that came together as a takeaway, but that is my takeaway. Because now I'm kind of in this headspace of like, what are the different forms that I could give to myself and other people of joy? Like, what? So, excuse me if that takeaway wasn't a complete thought. Um, Physically, I am 4.25, emotionally a 4.5, spirit a 4.4, and hope is a 4.4, and my word is creativity. Well, thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next week with a new episode.
And have a lovely rest of your day. And remember, you're more powerful than you realize.